Hello everyone, welcome back to our YouTube channel Forensic Science India. Today again I am here with the topic document examination. So let's get started. Today I will be discussing paper examination, ink examination, instrumental techniques that deals with question documents that are video spectral comparator, electrostatic detection apparatus, and at the end we will be discussing the case study. So first, paper examination. In case of documents which are printed, there may not be an obvious differences in the printing, but there may be differences in the paper. Even though paper may all look the same, there are chemical and physical differences between them. Some papers contain fillers that help to improve color and appearance. Some papers are coated to facilitate printing. Chemical tests can be performed on paper to identify these additives, but they are mostly destructive and therefore cannot be done on question documents. Thickness of paper can be measured with the help of micrometer. So, this paper examination is specially done for the paper which are printed because they are not easily distinguishable from each other. So we will basically do chemical treatment with those paper, and we get to find out that what kind of origin or we can say the age of paper, relative age of paper we can find out with the help of those chemicals. But this chemical method is quite destructive method, so it is not very possible. It is not possible to use these kind of methods on question documents. And for thickness we use micrometer to know about the thickness of the paper. So that's all for paper examination. Ink examination. Ink examination may be used to help identify the writing instrument or even to help determine how old a document or part of document is. Identification of the writing instrument may be accomplished by analysis of dyes in the ink. The US Secret Service maintains a library of more than 5,000 ink samples that can be compared to a sample from a question document. So here you can see ink examination is basically used to identify the writing instrument, means what kind of pen or ink is being used, whether it is a ballpoint pen or an ink pen, fountain pen, etc. Other than that, we will be studying how ink can be collected. So the question document examiner must not deface the document when taking the ink samples. There are tools that can punch out a hole in a document that is smaller in a diameter than the width of the pen stroke. This way, sample can be taken of the ink in a document without ruining the writing or unduly defacing the document. So if we will have to collect the ink sample from question document, so we, without disturbing or destroying the document, with the proper technique, we punch out a hole in the document and then we will take out the ink sample for analysis. Ink analysis can be done with the help of thin layer chromatography and with the help of laser desorption mass spectrometry. So thin layer chromatography, I think everybody is aware about this technique. It is basically done for separation of components of whether it is ink or plant, etc. Whatever we whatever the category we take for TLC, that TLC will be separating their components so that make it clearly visible to see the components of the compound we have taken for analysis. So the other technique is laser desorption mass spectrometry. Let's see this. First of all, we'll see the image of ink examination by TLC. Here you can see some images of the components of ink that are separated on various time interval. We can find out the retention factor value after this gel run, or we can say TLC plate run. So laser desorption mass spectrometry. This is the other technique for ink examination. So the new method has been developed for determining the age of an ink by tracking the degradation of certain dyes at the ink ages. In this technique, a laser is used to drive molecules of ink off the surface of a document. The molecules are ionized and separated in a mass spectrometer. As the dye ages due to light and oxygen, it degrades into smaller molecules. This process can be roughly correlated with time. One common example of this is the LDMS of rhodamine B in ballpoint pen. Here you can see the structure of rhodamine B. There are 4 ethyl groups on this molecule. As it ages, the dye successively loses these groups and they are replaced by hydrogen atoms. With the help of mass spectrometer, we can see the degradation of the dye. So this technique is basically used to determine the age of ink by tracking the degradation of certain dyes in the ink present. In this technique, laser is used to drive off the molecules of ink from the surface of a document. Then they are ionized and separated with the help of mass spectrometer. So mass spectrometer play a very important and crucial role in laser desorption. As the name suggests, laser desorption mass spectrometer. So here the example is given for rhodamine B, which is present in ballpoint pen. So there are ethyl groups present in this structure. They got loosed in the presence of oxygen and oxidating environment. The ethyl groups, they all get loosed and replaced by the hydrogen atoms. So this degradation, this process of degradation is can be identified with the help of mass spectrometer. So this is all about laser desorption mass spectrometer. So here you can see the image showing laser desorption mass spectrometer. The matrix is present in which some target molecules are added. With the help of laser beam, desorption is done. Desorption is removing removal of molecules, that is, they are absorbed. The absorbed molecules are dissolved, means dissolved. They are removed from the surface. Okay. So now these molecules are dissolved and ionized, and with the help of mass spectrometer, we will analyze the mass. Now, video spectral comparator. So the VSC is an imaging device that allows a document examiner to analyze ink, visualize hidden security features, and reveal alteration in a document. In my previous video in the topic obliteration, I talk about video spectral comparator. So it is basically used for alteration, to identify the alteration and some hidden features, and as well as to analyze ink molecules also. The VSC main components are a desktop computer that uses software provided by the manufacturer, and an imaging device that includes a color charge coupled device, video camera, a black and white CCD video camera, excitation of barrier filters, and various radiant energy sources. So these are the components of VSC that are used for the analysis of various documents. So among the computer's standard features are a 21-inch monitor and readable or writable CD-ROM for storing the bitmap images files. So the images that we are going to find out or we will be getting is of a bitmap kind of image file. Using a variable light sources in conducting document examination is not new. So among the computer standard features, we are using 21-inch monitor along with readable or writable CD-ROM for storing the bitmap image files. So however, the VSC allows the user to select filter and light combination at the touch of a button and capture desired images faster than with the conventional photography. So here you can see video spectral comparator is more prominent and more useful as compared to the conventional photography, as with the help of a single touch of button we can select filter and light combination of our desire. So the VSC 2000 is better than earlier versions. So it's a kind of a it's a series of VSC, okay, because it has complete computer based operation and comes with standard improved filters and light source. So some of the series of VSC that are developed year by year, the later means that the latest versions are more improved with more improved filters and light sources and well versed computer based operations. So the VSC developed are of many series like VSC 1, first developed VSC, VSC 2000, VSC 8000 latest, and many more. So this VSC 8000 is latest one. So here you can see the device that is connected with the monitor, 21-inch monitor. So here on the monitor we will be getting the bitmap images which can be studied by the document examiner or the expert to identify the altered document. Now, electrostatic detection apparatus. An electrostatic detection apparatus, that is ESDA, is a specialized piece of equipment commonly used in question document examination to reveal indentation or impression in paper that may otherwise go unnoticed. So about indentation I have talked in my previous video, so everybody is aware about the indentation mark. So ESDA, electrostatic detection apparatus, is basically used to read the indentation impression on the document. It is a non-destructive technique, will not damage the evidence in question, allowing further tests to be carried out. It is a sensitive technique capable of detecting indentation on pages several layers below the top sheet and many years after the indentation were created. So this technique is very important as it is a non-destructive technique and it can help to detect the indentation mark on several pages of several layers below the top sheet, and it can also identify the indentation marks year after they were created. So you can see how important the role ESDA playing in finding out the indentation marks. ESDA work by applying an electrostatic charge to a document containing suspected indented writing. So here I am talking about ESDA, working of ESDA. So ESDA work by applying an electrostatic charge to a document containing suspected indented writing. The indented writing is visualized through the application of charge sensitive toner. Indented writing, that is disturbed fibers created from previously written documents on overlying pages, can then be seen. So here with the help of charge sensitive toner we will be able to see the indented marks present on the papers. So here you can see the electrostatic detection apparatus. This kind of a device is ESDA. Okay. So with the help of toner powder, since indentation increases paper capacity to hold an electrostatic charge, the images can be developed using an electrostatic detection apparatus. So ESDA work with the help of a toner powder which is poured over a charged sheet of plastic covering the paper film. That will create an image. So toner powder will help to create an image. So now at the end we will be discussing the case study. This is a very famous case study, the Clifford Irving case. So in this case, early 1972, a federal grand jury heard the testimony of a question document examiner from the crime laboratory of the US Postal Inspection Service regarding question documents allegedly written by Howard R. Hughes. In this document, permission was granted for a biography of Mr. Hughes to be written by Clifford Irving. Mr. Irving had used these question documents to convince the editor of McGraw-Hill Book Corporation and Life magazine that he had a deal with Mr. Hughes, an allegation was hotly contested by Howard Hughes when he learned of it. So according to this paragraph, so Mr. Irving, he was claiming that he got some letter of authorization by Mr. Hughes to write his biography. So he have some, according to Mr. Irving, he have some authority letter which was provided by Mr. Hughes to him so that he can write a book, a, a biography of Mr. Hawks. But the testimony of the expert from the Postal Inspection Service was that the question document were not written by Mr. Hawks. Often in forgery cases, it is possible to conclude that the alleged author of a document did not do the writing. But it is more difficult to conclude that a particular person did do it. This is because the writing habit of the forger will often be buried in the attempt to stimulate the pictorial look and style of the target writing. However, in this case, there was a large amount of writing in a question. Mr. Irving had even had Mr. Hawks write a letter to the editors of McGraw-Hill to validate his agreement with Mr. Irving. The volume of question writing was enough that Mr. Irving was not able to keep up his disguise, and his own individual writing characteristics showed through the veneer of the simulated Hawks writing. So, in this paragraph, as according to Mr. Irving, authorized letter have been given to him by Mr. Hawks, but when proper investigation was taking place, it came into the conclusion or consideration that a large amount of writing were in questions, because there was so much differences there are so much differences in writing of Mr. Hawks and the writing which was placed by Mr. Irving as authorized letter by Mr. Hawks. So when proper investigation was going through, they found that the volume of question writing was enough that Mr. Irving was not been able to keep up his disguise. So it was not a case of forgery, rather it was a case of disguise done by Mr. Irving. He was disguising his handwriting and his own individual writing characteristics showed through the veneer of the simulated Hawks writing. So this is all about the Clifford Irving case, where the case was clear-cut is case of fraud done by Mr. Irving. So that's all for today. I hope you will be liking this video. Please do subscribe to our channel, and I guess this is the last video for the topic document examination. And if you guys have any query related to this topic, please do ask in the comment section. I will be answering each one of them. So thank you so much. Please do like our video and subscribe to our channel, and also share the video with others. Thank you so much.